Welcome to the Flex Forward Podcast, where grit meets growth. With your host, Nic Espanet, bringing you stories of resilience, reinvention, and the real climb to success.
All right, everyone, welcome to the Flex Forward Podcast. Today we're joined by Alex Gilmore. Alex is with CDR Construction and Roofing. We'll let him give you a little more information about it. I'm excited to hear what it is some of the projects they have going on, and how he's got to the position he is, and some of his successes and challenges. So Alex, welcome to the Flex Forward Podcast. Can you let our listeners know a little bit about you and about your company?
Sure. So started doing construction with our father. My brother and I own 50%. Both of us own half the company, and we started back in, I guess we were 15, 16 with our dad, and just kind of continued it on. I ran into some pretty rough issues as a younger man I've had to overcome, but it is what it is. So we do primarily commercial and multifamily, or we try to. After COVID, it kind of pushed us over into residential a little more, just because the office space stuff has diminished so greatly.
Yeah.
We had one customer that we lost 1.2 million down in revenue that year from during that COVID time, because everybody was home.
Yeah.
Really hurt us significantly. So 5 years ago, my brother unfortunately went through terrible divorce litigation. And at that point in time, we were a company called Southern Services. And as Jerry Springer as you can get, my sister-in-law ran off with my brother-in-law, and they both worked for the company. Yeah. So they gaslit everybody, and I got to the point I was like, you know what, I'm not, because she technically owned the company. My brother got cancer when he was 17. He's had it, now for the fifth time. But at that time he made too much money to get help, but he didn't have any insurance. So he was like, I don't know what to do. So he ended up writing the company over into her name. Divorce litigation came. We lost that company, started this one new, couldn't use the equipment, couldn't use the vehicles. I mean, we were having to start, from scratch. Now, by the grace of God, we had a customer base, but we didn't have anything else. So started doing that, ran into a group called Caria Property Management, one of the larger groups in Houston. And man, they stopped paying their bills. They got us for about $185,000 that we couldn't afford to lose. And finally sent us it was a $50,000 something payment. We told them if they'd pay us half, we'd finish a couple of smaller projects they had going, so the city of Fort Worth get off of them. And they sent me $52,000, and I'm like, I'm not, I may not be a mathematician, but I'm pretty sure that is not half of 185.
Not even a third.
No. And I'm like, okay, so we finally went through a bunch of rigmarole with them. Finally, 18 months later, we got our payment, with some interest. But I can tell you, there was many times I was sick. Thinking, man, we're not going to make it. We took a chance, and here we are. We're going to have to file for bankruptcy. So slowly but surely, we through quality of work and consistency, word of mouth, we've continued to grow. We're starting to move more into the multifamily sector. It's hard in that realm, just because so many people, they come in with these, just horribly low prices, and then they overpromise and then underdeliver, and then so we're trying to work into that and move into that field. And we've got a pretty good size project, or that we're that we've understand that we've won, but you know how it goes. I'm not believing anything until I get a contract. But
yeah, no, I completely understand, man. It sounds like you guys have had quite a few challenges, and that's awesome. You've come through them. I know they stink. We've had some in my world too, but what I've seen and do interviews with a lot of people, those make you stronger. You've grown from them, and it's something to say you guys have fought through it, and you're still standing and moving forward. So that's awesome, and very, very excited for you guys. So, and that things are growing too. That's Great to hear. So in that roofing and construction role, and you touch on this, there's a lot of competition. What's something that sets you guys apart from some of the other uh, roofers or just general contractors out there?
So one of the things that we do is, and it has its pros and its cons, is we have, like I said earlier when you and I were conversing off air, we've got 20 in-house employees, and my brother and I learned at an early age how to do everything, and I mean everything from the ground up. And so we've taught our guys the same things, and having that ability, we don't really run out of work. The problem is because if you're doing roofing day in, day out, and that's all you're doing, as soon as you hit the ground, you know exactly what you're doing. We're pulling the tarps, we're covering everything up. We're covering the AC. We're putting out boards for the plants. It's bam, 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 bam. With our guys, sometimes whenever we first start in, depending on which group you get, they can be a little bit slower. So you got to be really careful whenever you're making those estimates. But I really think that us being able to do almost everything keeps us in a large volume of work. Plus, keeping the quality there, and really, I try to sell myself. I tell people right out the back, I am not your cheapest contractor. I'm not going to be, but I'm not your most expensive either. But let me show you this portfolio I've got of everything we've done. And they're like, you know what? We want our house to look. It's okay. Well, then we can fall somewhere in this medium ground to where we're able to make money, and they get a quality product, and everybody's happy.
That's awesome. And, I've found you don't necessarily always want to go with the cheapest, and you may get your quality may suffer, or I think it usually does. And that's when we're getting bids and stuff. I'm like, I don't mind paying you. I just want you to come through. If we get a contract and you're going to finish in this time window, we need you to hit that window and not string things out. And that's why I think setting hurdles where you get some, especially on a larger deal where we're paying maybe in halves or thirds along the way, not in that third or half isn't paid on the calendar, it's paid on some completion hurdles too. That way we're all protected, and it needs to be spelled out. Like, you hit these things, let's have it in writing. So we're like, we don't get to a point and go, well, I thought you meant this. And I want as much stuff written out as possible.
We do all of ours 30, 30, 30, 10. And one thing I am dead set on. I got burned one time, and it's, I'm one of the people, you get me once, I've learned. I am dead set on linear footage, right? Square footage. If I tell you I'm replacing a 1x6, I'm gonna tell you how many linear feet. I use a program called Company Cam that allows us to.
Sorry, big thunder just hit outside my window.
That's never good. It allows me to take pictures, and I can notate on there, I'm replacing 14 linear feet of 1x6 right here next to this unit. And I give them a portfolio dictating and notating everything that we're doing so that there can't be anything misconstrued to try to catch me on later.
Yeah. Well, and that protects both of you. That way it's because, people here, there's always three sides to every story, and people may not be intentionally being dishonest, but they just understood it one way. You meant one thing, but if you have it in writing, you can go back to that writing or the pictures you're talking about.
Absolutely.
Here it is. There's no gray area looking at this.
No.
So I think it's CYA for you and your customer.
Absolutely. It protects everybody. And a lot of these new guys that are getting in, that's the more detailed you can get on that scope, what you're doing, it just covers you and protects you. It really, really does. I didn't even think about this until just now. I'll tell you something else that came out. One good thing that did come out. Now, we have not marketed it yet. We're just coming out of beta testing. Is I finally got so many people. I got tired of it. I made an app called Contractors Square, C Square, and it's a free app, and it allows contractors, any contractor, to sign up for free, and it allows us to rate customers, so homeowners, property owners, property management groups from 0 to 5 stars. Do they pay? Do they not pay? Do they need an a-hole fee? Are they easy to work with? Are they not easy to work with? Should you go in and ask for 100% before you ever start the job? Because that's one thing that we all suffer from, is going into a job unprotected. And
Yeah.
if we will really, my hopes is, like I said, it's a free app. Um, my hopes are that as we build a community, we can protect each other through our experiences and allow us to really help each other, protect each other, because we're the only ones that can.
Yeah. No, that's good having that some way to rate. Cause I mean, yeah, like you said, they're somebody they may be chronically and intentionally just get you on the hook and then leave. You know, sometimes people run into rough spots, but it's good. There should be reviews both directions.
There should.
For
So
sure.
if any of your people are out there looking for it, it's out there now.
Well, we'll let you that contractor squared. So yeah, definitely. If you got any of your listeners, definitely look that up and also share it with any of your contractor buddies. So, Alex, that's where, you know, if someone is listening and wants to get better at, you know, either something they do work wise or personal or fitness, do you have any tips or tricks that you use?
Um, deadlines. I set goals and set deadlines. You know, I heard a saying a long time ago: the difference between a dream and a goal is a deadline. You know, there's certain things that we want to accomplish, and we're like, hey, okay, by this time, I want to be here, and then continue to drive for that on a daily basis. The only thing you can do. It is hard out here. It is difficult. I'll tell you one other thing I think that sets us apart. If a customer calls me and, hey, your guys didn't do this, or hey, I'm noticing this, I don't argue. If it's a legitimate claim, we go immediately back over there and we fix whatever it is. I've had jobs that I broke even on, or I've had jobs that have cost me $1,500, $2,000. But my name is the only thing I have out there. And those customers, even though we ran into this deal and they had an issue, we fixed it. And they're like, hey, man, I'll tell you what, no matter what, these guys take care of their business. And in doing so, it promoted us to their friends. And even though I might have lost on that one, I got 10 more that were profitable. And it keeps us and our name out there all the time.
No, that's awesome, and that is so important. You know, I mean, occasionally you're going to run into somebody that's a jerk, and they may be trying to scam, but most of the time, people just want to have something done right. And so you coming in as a customer, like you said, you may have broke even, lost a small amount, or 2,000, not a small amount, but depending on the size of the job. But how many more jobs? You know, if you would have dug in and said, "No, you're wrong, we're not going to do it," you would have never got a piece of work from those guys, and probably got some negative pub to their friends or peers on that. So yeah, it's a lot taking care of your customer and fixing things, because, you know, especially on a bigger job, something may get overlooked, a board or a piece of trim. Getting out there fixing it may take a couple hours, but what does that do for your reputation and, you know, future business? It goes a long way.
It goes a long, long way. It really does. It really does.
Yeah, for sure. So, you know, you touched on this, and I think, you know, we come along here about some of your biggest challenges, and you guys have had a ton, with being some, you know, life challenges, family things in the business. You know, of that, what do you think was the biggest challenge you've had to overcome your you know, through your business journey?
Well, I'm a recovered drug addict. I've been clean 13 years.
Hey, congratulations. That's awesome.
Got myself into some very, very bad problems. And you know, like I said, my brother's had, you know, cancer several times. And getting clean and getting really driven on goals. Because I was strung out for like 14 years. I lost a lot of time. And so during that time frame, when everybody else was building 401ks and they were, you know, amassing this and collecting this and driving for this, I feel like I've been so far behind the 8 ball that, you know, that I just set goals and I really drive for them. Like, you know, my brother and I, you know, we own CDR. And we try to really have weekly meetings and sit down and see where we're at on those goals. Are we achieving those goals? If we aren't, what can we do to get us back on track? With the C square or contractor square deal, you know, it bothered me so bad. I was like, I can't do this anymore. I went to my best friend. He's our CEO, Lee Burns, my brother, and another gentleman, Cliff Woods. I presented him with an idea and researched it and just said, you know what, this is what we want to do, and just set that goal and drive. Because if you don't, somebody else will.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. You found a niche that something was needed, and you
Yes, sir.
filled it up. But congratulations on being clean. And I've had that in my family and seen some of it, the challenges, and you being able to come back and your brother battling cancer, and I think that makes you guys just that much better as contractors, as men, and to have fought through that, and that you've set that goal. And so I'm very excited to hear that things are going so well. So it sounds like as things are getting back, going well for you and your business, and a lot of people start looking at maybe passively invest, doing some passive investing or things that they're looking towards the future to enhance their current or maybe even replace some of their future income. What are your thoughts on getting involved in passive investing, like something where you're getting some returns on investments without having to work for them?
Sure. I think if you've got the money that's sitting in a bank account that's, that inflation's just degrading, you're wise to put those things, whether it be money market accounts. I mean, we've got money market accounts, crypto. Now, crypto's not technically a passive income, but yeah, there's a number of different avenues. We are continuously looking for stuff, whether it be trying to get property for rental property at some point in time, which I am driving for right now. We want to be able to do that and we build and repair everything. Why not? I mean, and it's right up our alley. And again, I'm hoping the app takes off and, helps people, and that will be another avenue. But yeah, for sure, all of us especially us that are aging and these young men that have the availability. Yeah. You can't have a better goal than to try to find, because you can only, they say you only have one you, right? So time is finite, and we've only got so much of it. So you got to produce streams, because we can't clone ourselves. I'm not sure I want to either, if you think about it.
That's very true. Very true. So, Alex, as we're wrapping up the interview, you have any exciting plans or initiatives personally or for your company in the next 6 to 12 months?
Yeah. So again, we're really, we believe that we've got this one contract. I've got my hopes up. It's as big of a contract as we've ever had, and we're really pushing to move into that realm. And God willing, we'll get into it and be able to make those changes and those moves. I'm really hoping it's going to make a difference for us. That's really right now. That's my focus right
now. Well, that and the app. I mean, that sounds like a lot. If you can get that taken off, and that'll also help your just communicating within different contractors. If somebody needs the service that you provide that they don't, I bet that's another great way for you guys to communicate between each other.
That is true. So it's not just for rating, right? It's actually a social media app. So it has like a place for you to put stuff up for market if you want to sell. Maybe you got some extra materials. There's a place for prime contractors to meet subcontractors. There's a place for you to showcase your work. There's a place to put memes or whatever you want so that you can promote your company amongst other contractors. Now, there's no customers to be found there. Right. This is completely devoid of customers, because we want it to be a safe place for us to discuss our craft, our billing. Where do we project things going? Hey, who knows where we can get this at a better rate, and help protect each other. Let the electrician know. If you're the roofer, let the electrician know, hey man, steer clear of that house. They're not going to pay you. So that's really my drive, is to make a community, where we can, protect ourselves and connect ourselves with each other. That's really what it's for. And I really do. I hope it takes off. I think the community needs it as a whole. And then we'll see where it goes. We'll see where it goes.
Great stuff. Well, thank you so much for your time today and sharing some of your tips with me and my listeners. If people would like to get in touch with you, what's the best way for them to do that?
So it'd be CDRLLCTX.com. And then we've got our respective emails can be located there.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Alex. I really appreciate your time today. And everybody,
Thank you for having me.
You bet. And I've enjoyed it. Everyone, thanks for listening. Be sure to like and share this episode and tune in to them. And thank you for joining. Alex.
Thanks for listening to the Flex Forward podcast. If you've got grit, growth, and a great story, visit flexforwardpodcast.com/guest to apply and join us on the show.